Hey everybody, what's happening? Son of a silver stacker here. In today's numismatic news and information for the 20th day of November 2022, I'd like to welcome you over to AppMex so I can show you where the live spot prices ended the week on Friday. But before that, I'm going to go ahead and give a huge shout out to all of the channel members for making these videos possible. Really couldn't do this without you. Really appreciate all y'all. Now, looks like gold ended the week at $1759.70, silver at $21.20, platinum at $997.40, and palladium at $1976.50. And two of these, I believe, are showing strength. That's gold and silver, because it's still above $1,700 here, and silver is still above $21 here. Platinum and palladium, though, down below 1,000 here and down below 2,000 here. I thought that was really interesting. I had to share that opinion. Now, let's head over here to the United States Mint, and I wanted to show you the United States Mint behavior for sales when it comes to November and December in their bullion action. All right, so here we are in the calendar year of 2022, and we know that the United States Mint has not added any new sales for the month of November. And here we are. Tomorrow will be 3 weeks in. Will we see any more reported sales? Maybe, maybe not. But what we do know is that the United States Mint in West Point, New York is already minting the 4/9 fine Buffalo gold coins, which, well, if they're already pressing those, will we not see any sales for November and December 2022 coins? I don't know, but I'm going to stick around and find out. But what I really wanted to show you here today is typically what is the Mint's behavior in November and December, all right? And take note of this. The number for the sales of January 2022 were at a robust 5 million, okay? And that was the biggest month out of all the months that you can see here. Now, there's a pretty good reason, I would imagine. Let's go here to the calendar year of 2021. This is the American Silver Eagles, all right? And the United States Mint produced, here we go, 1.5 million Silver Eagles in November, but had no sales reported for 2021 in December. Now, that leads us to believe that they were pressing the 2022 coins in December, and that's not that big of a deal. It's pretty standard. But look at this. I think only the 10th ounce gold coin wasn't pressed or sold in 2021. Okay, now the United States Mint made 28 million American Silver Eagles for 2021, and they're only at 15 million right now or so. But will the United States Mint add more for next year? I don't think so, folks. I think next year is going to be a pretty lean year. Let's keep on looking at the bullion sales and the characteristic behavior of the United States Mint's November and December sales. So here we go. Look at this. They had almost 5 million in November and 753 million in December for a grand total of 30 million ounces in 2020. That's actually a typo. The 2019 year is here, and they only had a total sales of 14 million right here. But look at this. For November and December, you had about 500,000 in November and 0 for December. So, folks, if we don't see any sales for November and December at the United States Mint for this year, that will definitely be an anomaly. It will definitely be a typical year. Atypical, right? Not a typical year, but not a typical year at all at the United States Mint. And that leads me to believe that next year, well, the United States Mint is going to be running pretty lean on American Silver Eagles. Because check this out. Now, why was 2019 a lean year at the United States Mint? Well, this could have something to do with it, and we have to thank Michael Silver Squeeze, hashtag Silver Squeeze on Twitter. He's saying here, COMEX silver votes dropped to 294.4 million ounces, still lowest level since January 17, 2019. Okay, so if the United States Mint and other mints are working with the lowest levels since 2019, could we see a very low mintage of American Silver Eagles for the next year? Absolutely. And not only that, but I think the United States Mint is really committed to producing a lot of silver planchets for next year. We're talking the Morgans, we're talking the peace dollars, we're talking the presidential silver medals, we're talking the American Silver Eagles, uncirculated, and the proof. We are looking at a lot of silver products for next year. And not only that, the United States Mint has to press the bullion coins for next year. And we've already seen through the bullion shark that they are expecting the 2023 American Silver Eagles to sell out upon release. Now, wouldn't that be incredible? Now, folks, this gets way more interesting if you go over here to the Google machine and you just type in silver. It says here, silver deficit in decades. What does that even mean? It says here, silver heads for the biggest deficit in decades, Silver Institute says. That was 2 days ago out of Reuters. Kitco, a day ago, silver market at multi-decade high deficit this year on strong demand report. That's 1 day ago. Seeking Alpha says, that was 8 hours ago, silver set to post biggest deficit in decades, Silver Institute says. Well, let's go ahead and go to Kitco and find out what they're saying. So here's Vladimir Bazov on Friday, November 18th, reporting here. Title of the story is Silver Market to Hit Multi-Decade High Deficit This Year on Strong Demand. That's what the report says out of the Silver Institute. Now it says here, according to Silver Institute, global silver demand is forecast to reach a record total in 2022, driven by new highs for industrial demand, jewelry, and silverware offtake, as well as physical investment. Isn't that incredible, folks? Why isn't the price of silver reflecting that demand by industrial folks, jewelry folks, silverware offtake, and physical investment? There's got to be a reason, and I think there's a really good answer here, and it's about 4 or 5 paragraphs below. It says here, these are some of the key findings reported by Philip Newman, Managing Director at Metals Focus, and Adam Webb, Director of Mine Supply, during the Silver Institute's interim silver market review in New York today, which featured historical supply and demand statistics and estimates for 2022. That's this year, folks. So they are in the here and the now. They're not looking back and saying, oh, well, 2021. They're saying this year, right now. The authors of the report said the global silver demand is expected to reach a new high of 1.21 billion ounces for this year in 2022, up by 16% from 2021, adding that each key segment of demand, except photography, is set to post a new peak. Isn't that incredible? Adding to the report, industrial silver demand for silver is on course to grow 539 million ounces in 2022, up 5% compared to 2021. Now, check this out. There's more reasons why silver is going to be used in industry, right? It's the green cars, the EVs, the 5G technologies, green infrastructure. All that stuff are going to be putting lots of pressure on the acquisition of silver, okay? Now, to add more, physical investment in 2022 is on track to jump by 18%. What? That's incredible. Those are incredible numbers, folks. To 329 million ounces, which would also be a new record. I wouldn't doubt it. Exchange-traded products, that's ETFs, you and me, in contrast, are forecast to see the largest annual decline in holdings, totaling 110 million ounces, due in part to silver's higher volatility than gold, which has made it more vulnerable to profit-taking. So there you go. And I think that's a smart thing. I think that it's wise to have a physical hold of gold or silver compared to something that is a click away. And I imagine some folks that have held these ETFs can probably tell you how volatile these particular exchange traded funds really are. It's a roller coaster ride. It really is. Now, it says here, silver jewelry and silverware demand also set to surge by 29% and 72% respectively to 235 million ounces and 73 million ounces this year, mainly thanks to an unprecedented rebound in Indian demand. This has partly been driven by strong inventory replenishment ahead of the festive and wedding season following heavy stock depletion in 2021. Now, I would think the opposite. Imagine if Indian demand actually, well, imagine if India starts selling all their silver. Wonder what that could do to the market. Well, maybe not as much as this next factor, because I think this is what's really going on, and I wanted to share this with you, and I've shared it with you in the past. And I got to ask the question, what happens when the opposite of this happens, okay? So here we go. This year, Metals Focus expects the average silver price to ease by 16% year on year. Now, why would it ease or go down, right? Especially with new record for demand and all this other stuff, it just is so counterintuitive unless you factor in what's going to happen up here. Metals Focus expects the U.S. Fed to continue lifting, that's raising interest rates. I don't know why they say lifting, that's just interesting verbiage. Raising the opportunity cost for precious metals, and this combined with rising yields and there it is, folks. Ongoing dollar strength, más fuerte. Okay, will continue to exert pressure on silver prices. So what that means is, if imagine an atmospheric pressure, like high pressure, low pressure, Well, there's high pressure on silver prices right now, not low pressure. But when that low pressure happens, well, what's going to happen is that, well, I believe silver will, well, go lift. That's what I'm going to say. I think silver prices lift. All right. Yeah. Why not, right? Now, as for silver supply in 2022, mined silver production is expected to rise by 1% on year to 830 million ounces. Output from Mexico will rise most significantly as several major new silver projects that have come online in recent years continue to ramp up to full production rates. Now, I think that I'm going to probably have to look into miners in Mexico. That would be interesting. If they're going to be doing all the major lifting for the next year, I imagine they might be get some of the major profits for next year as well. But that's just my opinion. Wow. Interesting. Byproduct silver production from existing mines and new projects in Chile will also be a major contributor to growth. Partially offsetting these rises will be lower output from major silver producers such as Peru, China, and Russia. Wow, interesting. Now, importantly, the global silver market is forecast to record a second consecutive deficit year. At 194 million ounces, this will be a multi-decade high and 4 times the level seen in 2021, the analysts concluded. Folks, there it is. The writing's on the wall. What are you going to do? Let me know. Are you big on silver? Are you going to be like, yeah, we're going to load back up the truck? Or are we going to wait until the Fed pivots and then see what happens? I'm waiting to see what the Fed does, to see what happens. See if because I think the second that they don't raise rates is when they lift that pressure on precious metals. Precious metals, yeah. Now let's go over to the plus ones today. Got some really fun ones here. This is the Thanksgiving one. It says here, what's something usually insulting but not on Thanksgiving? Well, when a family member gives you the bird. Whoops. Now let's head over here to Proverbs 6:16 through 19. Now it says here, these 6 things the Lord hates, but there's 7 here. So yes, 7 are the 7th one is an abomination. Now it says here, a proud look, that's number 1. Lying tongue, number 2. Hands that shed innocent blood, that's number 3. Number 4, a heart that devises wicked plans. Number 5, feet that are swift into running into evil. Yeah, that's no fun. Just right to it, huh? Number 6, a false witness who speaks lies. And number 6, the worst one he hates the most. Yeah, somebody who sows discord among their brothers. Yeah, he ain't got no time for them. Now let's head over here to 39's Fine. 99.9 KOIN Coin News Radio. This is Led Zeppelin, Tangerine. Really cool song. So there it is. This is the video today. Woo, finished it. Thank goodness. I didn't know if I'd be able to do it or not. But listen, like I said in the beginning, I want to thank all of our channel members here. I couldn't do it without you. Really, honestly, love you guys. Really appreciate it. So there it is, folks. I want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you do like what you're going to see, please subscribe to the channel. It's free. Son of a silver stacker.